One-on-one with Jeb Hensarling, the Dallas Congressman, on the border crisis, whether U.S. troops should return to Iraq, and whether he wants John Boehner's job.
Are you interested in being Speaker of the House?
Today on Lone Star Politics. Good question, by the way. Welcome to Lone Star Politics. I'm Kevin Coakley with Gromer Jeffers from the Dallas Morning News, who sat down this week with Congressman Jeb Hensarling of Dallas. Hensarling represents the 5th Congressional District, which includes a chunk of East Dallas, Mesquite, and part of Garland. Hensarling will face Libertarian Ken Ashby in the November election. He's one of the most powerful Republicans in Congress, and he's been that way for a long time, Gromer.
Well, he has, and we sat down, we talked about the terror army, ISIS, what to do about the border, and whether he wants to be Speaker of the House. Congressman, welcome to Lone Star Politics.
Thanks for having me again.
Paul Ryan, your colleague from Wisconsin, said last week that when if the speakership job comes open, you would be a great candidate. Are you interested in being Speaker of the House?
I'm interested in Paul Ryan being Speaker of the House if Paul Ryan chooses not to run for president. Gromer, listen, I'm flattered anybody asks those questions. I want to get America's future secure in this November, but right now I would anticipate hopefully having the opportunity of remaining chairman of the House Financial Services Committee, but I'm focused on the election that's coming up in November.
But can't you really get America's future secure as Speaker?
Why don't we get the election done?
What do you think about Speaker Boehner's performance this past Congress? You think he's done a good job?
Well, listen, you know, I've had agreements with the Speaker. I've had disagreements with him. I think, frankly, he gets blamed for too much, being one half of one branch of government. But I think right now it's more important for Republicans to unite. And I think rarely in my lifetime have the failures of big government liberalism been on parade quite as now.
Okay, let's talk about some pressing issues. Do you think military intervention, boots on the ground, is necessary to deal with the terror group ISIS in Iraq and Syria?
I think it's necessary for the Commander-in-Chief to put together a plan that he takes to Congress and, frankly, a plan that he takes to the American people. This is something that the American people have to be brought into. I mean, there's nothing more important than protect American interest from all enemies, foreign and domestic. I think we have a Commander-in-Chief who has to quit saying what he will not do. And every time he takes something off the table, it becomes more difficult and more challenging for us to contain ISIS. In addition, I think it is important that our Commander-in-Chief put forth a plan to where we can have allies work with us, particularly people in the region, to work with us. But unfortunately, the President has drawn lines in the sand before and allowed people to cross them. So I don't know the answer to the question about boots on the ground. I'm interested in hearing what the President has to say.
But it's an option. You think it should be on the table?
I think every single option should be on the table. I do not believe the President should be talking about options that he's taking off the table. I think that makes it far more challenging to deal with the threat of ISIS.
What about the notion of ISIS or some other terror group crossing the southern border and doing harm over here? Are you concerned about that at all?
I was at the border 4 or 5 weeks ago, met with our Border Patrol. I was told that in the last year they had interdicted illegal immigrants from approximately 140 different nations, including nations where there is known to be Islamic terrorist planning and plotting activities. So I think it is one more case to where we've got to get control over our borders, because it's not just a threat to the rule of law and our economic security, but it's a threat to our national security as well.
So in this climate where you can't get any sort of border security bill or immigration bill through Congress and signed by the President, how do you get the border secure, and then after that some sort of immigration overhaul?
Well, Gromer, I'm not quite ready to throw in the towel. Now, that's a challenge because we have a president who so far, I do not believe, has faithfully executed our laws in ensuring that the border is secured. I think he has every tool that he needs, so I would invite the president to get that done. And once he gets that done, I mean, there's a lot of issues that we can negotiate in good faith. I mean, again, America's a nation of immigrants. It always has been. It always will be. Then 4th of July, I was in the Lakewood 4th of July parade. A lady runs out to me and says, "Hey, I wanted to meet you. I had to learn your name to be a U.S. citizen." And I asked her, where'd you come from?
You were on the citizenship test.
Yeah, I was on the citizenship test. She said, I came from Russia and I love freedom. I said, welcome to America. I want to find a place in America for people who love freedom, want to roll up their sleeves and work hard. I just want them to come here legally. Hopefully there's something that we could negotiate with the president. But, for us it's kind of challenging. He's got a pen. He's got a phone. He just doesn't seem to have a copy of the Constitution.
In the moments we have left, what do you think about Governor Rick Perry's indictment in Travis County?
Well, I think that the Travis County District Attorney's Office is not just drunk on alcohol. They are drunk on power. They are drunk on arrogance. I haven't lost my ability to be outraged. This is the criminalization of politics. It is an incredible abuse of power. In my mind, this is essentially the district attorney's office saying, give me money or I'm going to sue you. And I hope when it's all said.
But it was a special prosecutor, right? A Republican appointee appointed by a Republican judge.
This all has come out of this public integrity unit out of Travis County. This is, and it's to me, and I don't typically tell Austin how to do their business because I don't like them telling me how to do my business, but how one county elected official is given statewide authority does not seem like a smart system to me. But as you well know, even liberal commentators have said, what a travesty of justice. And so I think the governor will be totally exonerated and vindicated in this process.
So even though this came from a special prosecutor appointed by a Republican judge, you think that the Travis County Integrity Unit had its
yes, it is obvious to me that their fingerprints are all over this. It's a result of this particular process. And again, I hope when all is said and done that this will inure to the governor's benefit.
Do you think it'll help or hurt his presidential ambitions?
I hope ultimately that it'll help. I think, listen, there's a lot of great candidates who will be running for president as Republicans. We got a very solid bench, particularly a lot of our state governors, including Governor Perry. But I think a lot of people will see this travesty. Senator Cruz. Listen, people who have a Texas zip code are particularly partial to my heart, but there's a lot of other good folks out there.
You said people with a Texas zip code are partial to your heart. Who has most of your heart, Rick Perry or Ted Cruz?
Melissa Hensarling.
Oh, Melissa Hensarling. She's not running though.
Not that she knows. Not that I know.
But I mean, are you going to pick one?
I've known our governor longer than I've known our senator. I hold them both in high respect. If you're asking me to choose between them on this show right now, no, thank you.
No, thank you. All right, it's always good to see you, Congressman.
Good to see you.
Thanks for being on the show.
What a politician! Always answer that the wife support the most.
They make stars out of it.
Absolutely. The spouse comes first always. So what do you think about his answer about Speaker of the House? Do you believe him, or he's got to have his sights set on it at some point?
No, I do not believe him at all. He wants to be Speaker, but it does him no good to announce right now, particularly since Boehner is still in the job and hasn't announced his intentions.
Yeah, we'll start to see what happens after the November elections, the midterms, and before January.